Hi, and welcome to Embodied and Beloved Faith, Healing, and the God Who Meets Us in the Body. I'm Shannon, a manual osteopathic therapist, and every day I sit with women who are carrying more than pain in their bodies. Often there's stress, grief, exhaustion, and questions about healing that don't have easy answers. When I say embodied, I mean this that our faith is not something we live out only in our thoughts or beliefs, but in our nervous system, our breath, our posture, and the stories that our bodies are holding. Our bodies are not separate from our spiritual lives. They are a place where so much of it unfolds. And this podcast is for women who are learning to listen to their bodies with compassion, who are discovering that healing is a process rather than a finish line, and who are coming to trust that God meets us not only in prayer or reflection, but right here within the lived experience of the body. You are embodied. You are beloved, and you are not alone. Hello, and welcome to episode 3. I'm excited about this one because this is a topic that I have wrestled with for a long time and honestly still wrestle with sometimes. So I need this reminder just as much as you might. So, one of the most discouraging parts of healing, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual, is when you think you're making progress and then something shifts. You have a stretch where things feel better, your body settles, your energy comes back, and maybe even your outlook feels lighter. And then, without much warning, something returns: the fatigue, the symptoms, or the tension. Or something you thought you had already worked through shows up again. And almost immediately, the question comes up: what did I do wrong? And I hear that question often. And if I'm honest, I've asked it too. I think most of us are carrying an assumption we've never really questioned. And that assumption is that healing should be linear. That if we're doing the right things, making good choices, taking care of ourselves, trusting God, then things should just steadily improve. So when they don't, it just feels frustrating and it feels like evidence that something isn't working, or worse, like we aren't doing something right. But that explanation is flawed. Healing, real healing, does not move in a straight line, not in the body and not in a person's life. What I see over and over again is that healing looks more like a spiral. You come back to familiar places, but you're not the same person you were the last time you were there. It might look like this: you feel better for a while, and then a stressful season hits and your symptoms return. Or your energy improves, and then your body slows you down again. Or you make progress, but it doesn't hold the way you expected it to. And it's easy to interpret this as starting over. But you're not starting over, you're revisiting. And there's a difference. Starting over means nothing has changed. Revisiting means something is still being worked through at a different layer with different awareness. And that's not failure, that's formation. Part of the reason this happens is because healing depends on safety, and safety is not always constant. Your body is always responding to what's happening around you and within you. There are seasons where things feel more stable. You have more capacity and your system softens. And there are seasons where life demands more. Stress increases or something shifts and your body moves back into protection. That shift doesn't erase the progress that's been made. It just means your body is adapting to what's true right now. Your body doesn't lose healing, it adjusts. So here's where I think we go wrong. We interpret adaptation as regression. We see a symptom return and assume we're back at the beginning. We feel tired again and we assume we've undone something. But that's not accurate. It's just a familiar story that we tell ourselves, and it's a discouraging one because it keeps you stuck in self evaluation instead of helping you respond to what your body actually needs. We tend to do the same thing in our faith. We assume that if we're growing, we shouldn't struggle with the same things again, that we should be past certain fears, doubts, or patterns. So when those things show up again, we question ourselves. I thought I dealt with this, or why am I back here again? But growth doesn't eliminate revisiting, it changes how you meet it. You don't come back as the same person. You come back with more awareness, more language, maybe a little more capacity to stay present instead of shutting down or pushing through. And that's not failure, that's formation. God is not measuring your life by how efficiently you move forward. He is present in the returning, the revisiting, the places where things are still unfolding. And if you expect yourself to move in a straight line, you will misinterpret a lot of what's actually growth. So, if something has come back, you didn't fail. And if you feel like you've gone backwards, you haven't. If this feels slower than you want it to be, that doesn't mean it's not working. It means you're in a process that doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to time, to consistency, to relationship, and to conditions that allow your body to feel safe enough to change. And you're allowed to need that. Healing is not linear. Setbacks are not failures. Your body is not behind, and you are not starting over. If you're in a place right now that feels familiar in a frustrating way, what if this isn't a step backward? What if it's an opportunity to meet yourself differently than you did the last time you were here? Before we finish today, I want to leave you with this. If you've been feeling discouraged in your healing, if it feels inconsistent, slow, or like you've lost ground, I hope you can take a breath here and let some of that pressure go. You're not doing this wrong. You're allowed to be in process. You're allowed to have movement and then pause, clarity and then confusion. And that doesn't disqualify anything. It's just part of the process. So may you recognize that your body is not working against you, even when it feels difficult. It's responding, adjusting, and trying to support you in the best way it can. And may you trust that God is not waiting for you to get further along before He meets you. He is present here, in the parts that feel unfinished, in the places you've had to return to, and in the process that is still unfolding. You are not behind. You are not starting over. You are being formed, still being held, and still moving forward, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. So, thanks for being here with me. If this episode resonated with you, feel free to share it with someone who might need the same reminder. And I can't wait to talk to you again soon.